Center. It is a beautiful afternoon and a packed house here for the series finale. Blue Jays took the first two games trying to win their second straight series, sweep the Red Sox in Boston, and they're trying to do that with Oakland here. Let's take a look at the Oakland A's lineup for Bob Melvin. Top of the order is Coco Crisp, who's the DH today. Josh Donaldson, over his last 10 games, hitting over 300 with 3 homers and 10 RBIs. Blue Jays have kept him relatively quiet so far in this series. And Brandon Moss, he moves to right field this afternoon with the left-hander Jay Happ on the mound. Last 12 games, 5 home runs, 13 RBIs, and an OPS of 1.385. Brandon Moss homered here in the opener on Friday night. They will take on Jay Happ.
5th start of the season for Jay. He cruised through the first 4 innings in his last start. That was against Boston. He struck out 6 of the first 9 batters that he faced, including 5 in a row. Things fell apart a little bit in the 5th inning. Gibby got him out of there, and the bullpen was able to hold on in that game. He won his 2nd straight game and now sits at 3-1 this season.
Big crowd on hand, the largest crowd of the season for the Blue Jays, secured on opening day, 48,197. It's going to be pushing that number here today. Jay Happ is set. Coco Crisp the batter. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. Down and in for a ball, and we are underway. Coco Crisp, the leadoff man. Blue Jays have held him to just 1 double in the series. Eric Kratz and Jay Happ have teamed up to be a nice battery.
And as always, the fastball command is going to be very important for Jay. He had it early in that last start against Boston and just kept pounding down in the strike zone. He lost it in that start around the 5th inning. Had a couple of walks in the 4th inning, and he had 3 doubles and a home run, and John Gibbons recognized that, got him out, but he worked very well through 5 innings with Kratzy.
Eric Kratz has got him in his last 4 starts, and he uses the fastball, which is always an advantage. He gives him a very definitive target.
Sets up in the middle and says, hit my glove.
4 straight balls, and Coco Crisp will go to first. Blue Jays defensively had a good series. Jay Happ is a fly ball pitcher, and the outfield has a lot of speed. Cabrera, Pilar, and Bautista from left to right in the outfield. Brett Lawrie's back at third base. Reyes and Donaldson up the middle, and Encarnacion's had a great series defensively against Oakland. Eric Kratz and Jay Happ, they make up the battery.
Kevin Pilar back out in center field. He's made some nice catches in this series already, roaming to his left and right. Blue Jays have got good defense by their center fielders this season.
There's the first strike of the ball game. Josh Donaldson batting second. He's hit third in the first 2 games of this series, taking a peek at Brett Lawrie at third.
Josh is a very aggressive hitter, especially early in the count. He'll sit on that fastball and look down with it. On the first 2 pitches of an at-bat, he is hitting over 500 this season. You can see he's having some problem with his footing in the home plate area, saying it's a little bit too soft and a little bit too wet for him.
Yeah, they wet it down right before the start of the game, and it appears to be awfully soft. And Mark Carlson, the home plate umpire, has asked the ground crew to come out and see if they can't make it a little bit better. Donaldson took a big rip at that second pitch and lost his footing in the batter's box.
Maybe bring some turfus out there or something where you can grab a hold of that. It looks very soft. It looks very wet.
The batter's box area is all clay underneath that turfus, and watch the swing of Donaldson.
Plants that front foot, and it gives way a little bit. You see him just slide right across the batter's box there. Right after that swing, he asked the home plate umpire if he could please come out and give me a little something more I can work with here.
Well, during the course of the afternoon, obviously the sun is going to dry out that home plate area, but they got a little too wet early in this ball game.
You know, and unfortunately, because they have to work around home plate, Jay Happ can't stay loose. He is just standing behind the mound right now, just waiting for him to finish up. Throwing some dirt in there to try and dry it out. Anyway, Tom.
So Donaldson appears to be satisfied now. Jay Happ with an 0-2 count on Josh Donaldson. Coco Crisp is 7 for 8 in the steals this year. Excuse me, he's 8 for 9. Oakland has the best stolen base percentage in the major leagues. Popped up. High pop up. Reyes, the shortstop, dealing with the bright sun, makes the catch. Donaldson's return. Coco Crisp, we mentioned he's 8 for 9, just been caught once. You look at the all-time stolen base percentage leaders. Ricky Henderson, the Hall of Famer, 79.8. Rajay Davis, former Blue Jay, 80%. Stan Javier, almost 86%. Coco Crisp has the all-time A's percentage of stealing at 87%.
Anything over 75 is excellent. And Ricky Henderson's is just under 80, but think about all the steal attempts he had in his career. And they're back at it again this year. They've only been thrown out 3 times all season long trying to steal a base. They've had 31 attempts.
Jed Lowry has been in and out of the lineup the last 2 series. Been dealing with a neck strain. Jay Happ has allowed just 1 stolen base in 2 attempts so far this season. Eric Kratz has caught 2 of 6. Way outside, looked like the changeup. Just 3 games for Happ prior to this start this afternoon against Oakland. Well, there's another good fastball right in on the hands of Lowry.
Yeah, and it beat him right there. Jay pitched against the A's last year and actually pitched really well. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. No decision. The Blue Jays ended up winning that ball game late. Pitched well. Now, he's going to have to really use that fastball, I think. Don't mess around early. Oakland is just like Boston, where they like to take a lot of pitches and work the count.
Oakland leads the majors in walks. It is something that Jay Happ has dealt with in his career, giving up too many base on balls. Yoenis Cespedes will follow Jed Lowry. Cespedes with a big game yesterday, 3 hits. He had a triple and a home run. There he goes, the strikeout, and Kratz didn't make a throw. Coco Crisp with his 9th stolen base. Jay Happ is always better when he can command that fastball, and it has played out early on this season.
He's going to have to work off of that. This is the opponent's batting average versus the pitch type. Look at the slider and the fastball. Very, very respectable numbers for Happ. But once he starts going to the curveball and the changeup, it zooms way up. 385 and 625 off of the changeup. I think they're going to have to use the fastball, use it effectively. Mix in a changeup every now and then, but certainly throw it in a better spot.
Left fielder Yoenis Cespedes. Happ gets ahead. Hit his 8th home run yesterday. Came in his first at bat against R.A. Dickey in the 2nd inning. He also had a triple off of Dickey. Picked up his single off Dustin McGowan. 95 with the fastball.
Haven't seen too many of those from Jay over the years right there. That's a good sign. Threw that one right by Cespedes.
Back-to-back 95-mile-an-hour fastballs, and Jay Happ strikes out a pair in the first. He goes upstairs against Cespedes and strikes him out. The A's leave a runner. Jay Happ off to a good start. His ball game, a couple of strikeouts. Take a look at the lineup for the Blue Jays. Reyes has been on a tear lately. Melky Cabrera, then Jose Bautista. He's got 6 home runs against left-handers. That leads the major leagues. And of course, Drew Pomeranz on the mound for Oakland is left-handed. And how about Kevin Pillar over his last 6 games? He's at .429. A couple of doubles, 3 runs, and the Blue Jays are going to get their first look at the big left-hander, Drew Pomeranz.
Just 25 years old. He's got that 4-1 record, an outstanding earned run average. He was moved from the bullpen to the rotation, and he strung together 3 consecutive starts of 5 innings, pitching with no runs allowed. He's the first A's pitcher to do that since Ted Lilly back in September of 2003. He continues to build up his pitch count as a starter. Probably good for 100 pitches I saw today for Pomeranz.
Pomeranz making that transition. He got his first start May 7th, second game of a doubleheader against Seattle. The opponents have not scored in all 3 of his starts. Jose Reyes. First pitch is up and away. Pomeranz is going to throw out of the stretch. He's always had command issues and always used a windup, but working out of the bullpen early this year, he recognized that he's much more consistent throwing out of the stretch.
Says too many moving parts when he was throwing out of the windup. When he came out of the bullpen, he just stayed in the stretch, and that helps you to stay compact and stay together and stay in the strike zone.
2-0 to Reyes. Melky Cabrera is on deck. This is a potent lineup, especially when Reyes can get on base. A reminder, the Indianapolis 500 is on now on Sportsnet 1 and City TV. Canadian James Hinchcliffe is in the top 10. 1/3 of the way through the race. There's a strike. There's only been one Canadian Indy 500 winner. That was Jacques Villeneuve in 1995. Full count to Reyes. Ball 4. So both starters walk the leadoff man here in the first this afternoon.
And Pomeranz's strike ability has been much better lately.
Yoenis Cespedes is back in left field. The speedster Craig Gentry's in center. Brandon Moss makes his 4th start in right. Donaldson, Lowry, Callaspo, and Blanks from third base to first base. And Derek Norris is back behind the plate.
Brandon Moss in right field. 12 starts this year in the outfield. 26 as a first baseman. And with the lefty on the mound, Josh Reddick sits.
Melky Cabrera, 317 for the season. Waves at that breaking ball, and that's a key pitch for Pomeranz. That's the first breaking ball we've seen from him. He's got a good curveball.
Yeah, it's a good one. The old spike curve or knuckle curve, whatever you want to call it, straight down. The spin is straight down. So the Blue Jays are going to have to recognize that and make sure that it's up high. If you see it middle in, you got to take it. It's going to drop off the plate.
0-2. Fastball fouled out of play. Pomeranz is a former first-round pick of the Cleveland Indians. He was 5th overall in 2010. Drafted out of Ole Miss. There goes Reyes. Breaking ball. Throw to second. Not in time. There's that speed again.
Talked about it in the opening, what the speed has been able to do for the Blue Jays so far, and it's really showing up in this series here. Reyes is the guy who has been doing it. He's scoring on second base on ground balls. Guess is right. You can see it's a straight steal because Reyes never looked back. And a very aggressive slide in the second base.
He picked a good pitch. That was the curveball, and it's just a bit slower than the fastball, and that gives Reyes an extra step towards second. 1-2. Well, I tell you what, the speed has taken the Oakland defense out of their game. The shortstop, Jed Lowry, jockeying behind Reyes, and now that takes him away from his defensive position.
Yeah, he's moving on the pitch. You can see him backing off. And he's actually moving. You never want to get your infielders, especially your middle infielders, moving backwards on the pitch.
Now, you catch those infielders moving on contact, and they're not going to have the same range. Speed is a distraction. Another curveball in the dirt. Two balls and 2 strikes. Drew Pomeranz trying to get settled in here in the first. Melky Cabrera took a shot to right.
Well, what you'll usually get from Drew Pomeranz, he's got a good fastball in that spike curveball you were talking about there. Changeup, he only throws it 1% of the time. So if you're the Blue Jays, look for the heater. Look for it early. If you see a little hump in that ball, it's going to be his curveball. And it's a good one. You got to make sure that it is up when it leaves his hand.
And call for the throw at second, and Reyes is back in. On Friday night, that play became a big play for the Blue Jays. Scott Kazmir wheeled and fired to second, but there wasn't a defender over the bag. The throw went into center. Kevin Pillar moved from second to third on the air. Ground ball to short. Reyes is taking off for third. Kyle Blanks throw, not in time. You just can't stop him.
Those kind of players like Reyes, and we've seen Ghost here, they're so aggressive that they alone can score a run just on their legs. You can see Chip Hale really arguing to make sure that they stayed on the bag. He wants to get a replay. On this play here, Reyes is just going to watch the shortstop. That's all he's going to do. If he ever looks at him, you see Reyes never gets disengaged with that bag. Blanks with the throw over, aggressive slide. He goes out and grabs it. But you watch the shortstop. If he doesn't look at you, you can go ahead and get a bigger secondary lead and then just take off.
Jose Bautista takes a first pitch strike. The infield is back.
It's a good take right there by Bautista. This is the first time that he has seen Pomeranz, and he's judging the break on that curveball, just trying to pick something out in his release point.
Now the curveball, he takes it down and in. Reyes at third base, really getting a walking lead off the bag. He's coming way down the line.
You know, with that curveball, young pitchers might want to hold on to it a little bit too hard, try to throw it too hard to get the strikeout, and you can get a ball in the dirt.
Bautista strikes out on the high curveball. Not exactly where Pomeranz wanted to throw it, but it was effective.
Yeah, they wanted that ball down and in, and it just hung out over the plate. Jose just a little bit tardy. The timing just wasn't there on that breaking ball.
So Bautista's retired. Edwin Encarnacion is in the cleanup spot this afternoon. Yesterday he hit fifth behind Adam Lind. Reyes can score on any ground ball to the infield except back to the pitcher.
He can also score on a curveball that barely leaves the dirt area. So he's getting a huge lead down there at third base, anticipating something in the dirt.
2 outs. Now 2-0 to Encarnacion.
I wouldn't look for anything here. Maybe another breaking ball from Pomeranz. I don't know if he's going to challenge Edwin. I don't know if that's a good idea.
He missed. 3-0. Brett Lawrie is waiting on deck. Bautista and Encarnacion were 0 for 8 in the game yesterday, and the Blue Jays still won 5-2. Ball 4. Didn't look like Pomeranz wanted much to do with Edwin Encarnacion's second walk in the inning.
Brett Lawrie yesterday got his second taste of the Jesse Chavez curveball and liked what he saw. This one, his 8th home run to left field. Drove in his 26th run with that one right there. Chavez has a very good breaking ball, and Drew Pomeranz has a very good breaking ball. Both of them hard, both of them very sharp.
So Brett Lawrie will step in with 2 outs and runners at the corners. Breaking ball as Pomeranz falls behind. Laurie's been the best hitter for the Blue Jays with runners in scoring position. He's got a .366 average. Anxious moment for the A's early in this ball game. Lawrie has 26 RBIs. Those are the numbers with runners in scoring position.
21 of those 26 with runners in scoring position. Using right field a little bit more.
Goes Encarnacion. Nice play by Blanks. So Lawrie grounds out to the first baseman. We played an inning at Rogers Center. It's a scoreless game.
Honda CR-V. Honda, proud to be the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays. And by Home Hardware, homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
A gorgeous Sunday afternoon in Toronto. The lake is a busy place today. Center Island, a big attraction, but there's a lot of fans here at the ballpark. Lots of youngsters out, and you can see all the Blue Jays jerseys and caps, and boy, it was a crowd getting into the stadium today. They gave away Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion replica jerseys this afternoon.
I had to take a detour to get to, and I was walking from the hotel here. There were so many people out here. This is so great to see, isn't it?
You can feel the electricity. Blue Jays are on a roll. They've won 5 straight. Derek Norris, the catcher, took the first pitch for a ball. High pop fly into shallow center field. Long run for Pilar. He gets there and makes the catch. It is a bright sunny day, and you can see Pilar's got the sunglasses on. Only the second open air game we've had here at Rogers Center this season, and there's hardly a cloud in the sky.
He had to come a long way for that one. Kevin was playing very deep in center field, and it's one of those fly balls that went to no man's land. There's no clouds in the sky, so that's going to make it tougher for the outfielders. That backdrop, you just don't have it to judge how high that ball is.
Brandon Moss batting in the 6th spot in the location. There's a good idea what the defenders have to deal with looking up into that sky. Jay Happ using that fastball very effectively early.
He had a good one in the first inning. We saw him pump a couple of 95-mile-an-hour fastballs by Cespedes.
Breaking ball is fouled into the seats. The Oakland A's have juggled their lineup each of the 3 games so far. How does that affect hitters hitting in different spots in the order?
Well, you know, sometimes it can really help guys because they see the game from a different angle. If you're like a guy who hits in the first or second, maybe the 3rd spot, you're guaranteed to hit in the first inning. Maybe they drop you down, you take an inning off, and you can sit there and you can watch the pitcher for an inning and judge what he's throwing and get an idea what he's trying to do. I think if you take it personally, though, if they drop you down, then you're going to be in a lot of problems.
Bob Melvin's just trying to spark the offense. They've hit 175 over the last 5 games.
Yeah, that's the problem. They have really struggled to score runs. That 175 average you talk about, they've only scored 12 runs over that span, averaging just about 2 runs a game. So as a manager, you try and shake it up, move guys around, see if you can find combinations that'll work for you.
1-2. There's another good fastball from Jay Happ. 3 strikeouts for Happ already. Fans, remember, it's the MasterCard Memorial Cup. It's down to the final game for junior hockey supremacy in Canada. The championship final at the MasterCard Memorial Cup between Edmonton and Guelph goes this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern on 4 Sportsnet channels. Alberto Callaspo. Callaspo has his best career average against the Blue Jays. .333 for his career, better than any other ball club he's faced. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
He used that, Jay did, that through the first 4 innings in his last start, and I think really took the Boston Red Sox by surprise. Just kept pumping it in there.
I think, too, what Jay Happ needs to fight is trying to make it better than the previous one.
Yeah, you don't need to do that. He was trying to be fine. That's where he ran into problems in that last start, where he's trying to throw the perfect pitch. Just get out there, stay within yourself.
What you do, too, as a pitcher, when you throw so many fastball strikes, you get hitters to chase those borderline pitches. Another borderline pitch, but he's got to protect with 2 strikes.
And it's alley strikes, so you can see that there's been 4 of them now up and away to Callaspo. But because he has been throwing a lot of fastballs, he's got a swing. I think you could freeze him on the inner half now with 1 more heater.
He turns on that ball and pulls it foul. Callaspo is 2 for 5 in this series. Just 3 for 18 on the road trip. This is the 9th and final game for Oakland on this road trip. Broken bat looper. And that's going to drop. Callaspo's making the turn around first, and he'll stop as Melky got to it quickly. Broken bat single. First hit of the game. It comes with 2 outs.
This guy's the greatest hitter in the world against the Blue Jays. I mean, he came into this game at .236, but every time he plays with the Blue Jays, he can do this. Just throw it out there. Throw the bat out there. It'll be a hit. Change up, it looked like.
And that hurt, but he's not complaining, believe me. Hit that off the end of the bat. Got that fistful of bees. Kyle Blanks playing at first base this afternoon. Blanks was acquired by Oakland from San Diego on May 15th for a minor league outfit. This is his 5th appearance since joining the A's.
Some power. The Blanks, 28 home runs in that short amount of time. It's not full seasons in the big leagues right there for Blanks. He's been up and down, and he's had some injuries to deal with over the last couple of years. He's got some pop. Certainly big enough.
They've worked him away early in this at bat. Jay Happ not really sure about that pitch, so he stepped off. Didn't want to throw the fastball. Breaking ball, and Blank's laid off a pretty good breaking ball in the dirt.
You know, he's going to have to throw the breaking ball, I think, for a strike. It's one thing to throw fastballs and throw a lot of them, which is a good thing, I think, but at some point you have to throw a breaking ball for a strike just to put it in their mind. If it's a slider or if it's your curveball or your changeup.
Breaking ball lifted in the air into center field. Pilar gets there, makes the running catch. That ends the inning. The A's get a 2-out single and nothing more. TD, Sunday, June 1st. Blue Jays will take on the Kansas City Royals. Game time is 1:07 p.m. The first 20,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays cowboy hat presented by TD. Call the Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234 or log online to BlueJays.com to order your tickets for next Sunday's Blue Jays giveaway. It's Blue Jays Country Day presented by TD. Hopefully it'll be just like this next Sunday. We'll have another packed house on a gorgeous afternoon. Jonathan Navarro is the DH this afternoon. He looks at one up and away. Interesting, the Blue Jays have fairly effectively utilized 3 catchers. Something that doesn't happen a lot in the American League. They've been able to carry those 3 catchers because they're down to 7 men in a bullpen.
Yeah, and they have a knuckleball pitcher, so you have a catcher for him. Jonathan Navarro is a switch hitter. They've been able to use him, and Eric Kratz too. They've been able to use him. John Gibbons really likes him and likes what he brings to the table. He's a big leaguer and he's very aggressive, and he can pop the ball out of here.
1-2. Navarro batting .259 on the season. Curveball bounced right back to the mound. 1 down. That curveball is a very important pitch for Drew Pomeranz, and it's a very different breaking ball. It's a spike curveball, but show us how he throws it.
Well, it's a spike because your finger comes up like this. It's up. What he does is he has it like this kind of grip, and he pushes with this middle finger or this index finger right here. A lot of times you'll see the spike curve. It'll be like this with two fingers, and they push on it like that. Bert Hooton comes to mind. He has one finger, gets that other finger across that seam right there, and pushes from there, and really creates a great spin on that ball to make it go straight down.
We mentioned that Pomeranz came from Ole Miss. His father, Mike, played at Ole Miss and taught Drew and his older brother, Stuart, that pitch because he didn't want them throwing a traditional breaking ball and putting stress on their arm.
You know what? I did the same thing to my kids. I taught them that two-finger spike curve, knuckle curve, whatever you want to call it, because it doesn't put the pressure. You don't take it and spin it and snap your wrist like that, and it takes the injury factor away from you.
Steve Tollefson with a 2-0 count. Now it's 3-0. Well, Pomeranz is a big guy, as you see Eric Kratz on deck. He's 6'5". He's got very strong hands and powerful fingers, and that is part of the reason he can throw that pitch.
He was taught that knuckle curve when he was just a youngster, just 11 years old. You mentioned his father. He played at Ole Miss. He was an infielder, and he was a teammate, Chuck Bartlett, future Major League Baseball scout. Guess who drafted Drew Pomeranz?
The Cleveland Indians. And Bartlett was a scout.
And he was the scout who signed him.
Full count to Steve Tollefson. Tollefson's done a nice job playing second base when lefties are on the mound. Strike three call. Late reaction by the umpire, but it looked like a pretty good pitch. Bottom of the strike zone.
The 2014 Honda CR-V. Honda, proud to be the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Eric Kratz got some power. 3 home runs so far this season. And he was looking for a fastball. Takes that fastball up and away. Kratz began his career with the Blue Jays. He spent 7 seasons in the minor leagues with the Jays. Kratz was acquired in the offseason and traded with the Phillies for Brad Lincoln.
There it is right there. That good curveball right there. You're just mentioning that trade. Blue Jays also picked up another player who's on their roster right now.
Rob Rasmussen, the young left-hander that's in the Blue Jays bullpen. Another breaking ball bounced to second base. Callaspo goes to first. 1, 2, 3. The Jays go down in order in the second, but go to the third. Still a scoreless ball game. Honda. It'll take place Saturday, June 7th between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. right here at Rogers Center. The cost is $40 and registration is open to female players aged 6 through 14. Each participant will receive a Blue Jays t-shirt and a cap. Visit BlueJays.com/Baseball Academy for more information. Toronto Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada. June 7th, that's a day game. The Cardinals will be in town. Junior Jays Saturday, so why not put the two together, have a Junior Jays Saturday and a girls baseball camp all on the same day.
All right, Blue Jays.
Craig Gentry bunts it up the first base line, and he is one of the best in the business at pushing that bunt. He can run like a deer, and he starts the inning off with a bunt single.
Just get it by the pitcher. And really, the only guy who can make that play is the pitcher. You can see how deep Steve Tollefson is at second base. Once you get it by the pitcher and you make that first baseman have to field it, with that kind of speed from Gentry, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, it really plays well with a left-handed pitcher on the mound because he falls off toward the third base foul line, and there's a big area where you could put that bunt down. Back to the top of the order. Coco Crisp walked in his first at bat. Gentry is perfect on the season. We mentioned the A's as a team run very effectively. Gentry is 7 for 7 in steal attempts. Coco Crisp already has a stolen base this afternoon. You can see the long look in from Jay Happ, asking where that pitch was. It looked like it was on the corner.
It's happened a couple of times where he thought that he hit the outside corner. And you can see from the overhead, we've got the advantage of overhead in slow motion that it was just off the plate. Catchers will talk to umpires on pitches like that, won't they, and ask them?
Yeah. First thing you do is just say, Mark, just a bit off the plate outside. And you're always much better to have a conversation instead of a confrontation.
So you say, I had that one for a strike. And the umpire say, well, no, I had that one off.
1-1 pitch to Coco Crisp, and Happ will check in on Craig Gentry.
Looked like Gentry was bluffing to go to second base. They might want to try and put something on here. They have been really struggling to score runs.
Yeah, you would expect them to try to create some motion. Gentry is not running. Chris shows bunt and takes a ball. Bob Melvin missed the first game of this series to attend the graduation of his daughter. There's a strike that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Strike 3 call. Eric Kratz got that pitch he was looking for on the first pitch of the at-bat. 4 strikeouts now for Jay Happ.
This is times through the order, and what has happened with Jay Happ. The first time through the order, outstanding, 234. Now the batting average against Jay, second and third time through, has just jumped up. So he's going to have to make the adjustment or make better pitches as we start to head through the second and third time through the lineup here. Maybe throw the breaking ball. That's what I meant in the first part of the game here, that he's throwing a good fastball. But at some point, he's going to have to throw a good breaking ball and throw it for a strike.
Don't have to throw many. Just put it in their mind that you can get it over for a strike. Josh Donaldson hitting second this afternoon. Scoreless game, so Jay Happ is keeping a close eye on Craig Gentry at first.
One of the problems that Jay has had as he goes from the first time through to the second time through, he decreases his fastball use by 8%. I say keep pumping it in there until they show that they can't hit it.
Yeah, Eric Kratz is well aware of that, and I wouldn't be surprised if they try to use the fastball a little more as the game wears on. There goes Gentry. Pitches inside. Throw to second. Not in time. The ball bounced just enough to take Tollefson away from the bag. He had to play it on the short hop. Blue Jays are going to check the replay to see what they think about possibility of an appeal.
Eric Kratz, one time a game, will throw from his knees just to practice it. That's a clearly safe and an easy call, I think, by the umpire. You can see Gentry. Ball bounces and his hand is already in there, but Kratz will practice that at least one time when he's catching in the game because of plays like this. He knew that Gentry got a great jump and he had to be quick, and from his knees he just fired it down there and almost got him.
Yeah, in between innings when he throws the ball down to second, he'll throw from his knees just in case he needs to be quick. Another stolen base for the A's. They have two. They're 2 for 2 so far this afternoon. Josh Donaldson with a 1-1 count. Got the off-speed pitch over.
Keep him close at second base. Melvin knows that he's been struggling to score runs. Gentry was looking in like, hey, do I have the green light here at second base?
Donaldson is 0 for 7 in this series. We mentioned over his last 10 games, he entered this ball game batting .303. The Blue Jays have pitched him tough so far.
I think where you don't want to pitch him, especially if you're a left-hander, is down and in. He just absolutely covered that ball down and in.
There's a hot shot hit to Reyes. He stays with it. He's got enough on to throw out Donaldson. Sometimes at shortstop, you got to play like a third baseman. Knock it down, throw him out.
That was one pitch right there. Down and in, and the ball's covered by Donaldson. Smokes it right on the hop. Tremendous top spin on that ball. But it was hit so hard, so Reyes had plenty of time.
Look at Reyes. Got his sheepishly saying, had him all the way. 2 outs now. Gentry still at second base. Off-speed pitch missed downstairs. Now he struck out on a fastball his first time up. Pushed him back with a heater. Scoreless ball game. We're in the top half of the third inning. Craig Gentry had a bunt single to start the inning. He stole second base, and he remains there with 2 outs. Snap throw to second. There's another example of how strong Eric Kratz's arm is.
Yeah, that's just Kratz and Tollefson getting together saying, okay, I'll be there if you want to go ahead and throw it. I got your back.
Well, what that does is it takes some of the aggressiveness away from Craig Gentry.
Yeah.
It's put another thought in his head and makes him hesitant at second. Now it's a 2-2 count. The A's have stranded a runner in each of the first 2 innings, and they've been struggling to score runs. Good pitch, fouled off by Jed Lowry. Lowry's in his second season with Oakland. He hit .290 a year ago with 15 homers.
And a lot of doubles, so he's got some power.
As they pop into shallow center, Pilar says, I got it. The A's have stranded a runner in each of the first 3 innings. Jay Happ doing a good job pitching around trouble. And today our Sunday salute goes to Master Corporal Corey Greenhorn. Master Corporal Greenhorn joined the Canadian Forces Military Police Branch in 2005. He joined not only to serve his country but to serve as a military police member and is currently an instructor in the Canadian Forces Military Police Academy. He's been deployed to 2 theaters of operation in Afghanistan in 2007 and again in 2010. So we thank you for your service and congratulate you, Master Corporal Corey Greenhorn. Scoreless ball game. We move to the bottom of the 3rd. It'll be 9-1 chew for the Jays. Kevin Pilar, Jose Reyes, then Melky Cabrera. Blue Jays gathering information against Drew Pomeranz. They have not faced him in the past. This is his first start against the Blue Jays. Pilar goes after that pitch and fouls it into the seats.
Information that they have is basically he's a 2-pitch pitcher right now. It's a fastball and a curveball.
Blue Jay hitters will come back and discuss things with Kevin Seitzer, and he'll look at his scouting report and they'll get the information they get firsthand during their at-bats. Put their heads together and try to come up with a game plan.
He will watch a lot of tape on today's starting pitcher.
Pilar tried to bunt but got a curveball and fouls it off.
Same idea that Gentry had to lead off the top of the inning. Push it to the right side. But Seitzer will watch a lot of tape of today's starting pitcher and try and figure out what he'll do with 2 strikes. He'll try and find out what they do when there's runners in scoring position versus a righty as opposed to a lefty, and give all that information to his hitters and give him a game plan to work on.
Clark chases that high fastball and strikes out. One down.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the 2014 Honda CR-V. Honda, proud to be the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful afternoon at Rogers Center. The roof is pushed back for a second consecutive day. Back to the top of the order for the Blue Jays. Jose Reyes walked his first time up, stole second, moved to third on a ground out, but was stranded at third base. The Oakland A's have lost 3 in a row. They have really gotten off to a great start. They're 30-19 with a 2.5 game lead in the AL West. But you want to know how good the A's have been? They have not lost 4 in a row since 2003.
What? They haven't lost 4 in a row since 2003.
May 6th through the 10th of 2003. There's a breaking ball strike.
I thought when you play 162 games a year, somewhere you're going to lose 4 in a row.
Well, you know what that means. It means the A's have good starting pitching.
Yep.
Scott Kazmir was the starter on Friday night. Jesse Chavez pitched yesterday, and Pomeranz here today. Another breaking ball hits sharply up the middle. Callaspo quickly makes a nice play. The Oakland A's over the years have really done a great job of putting together championship caliber teams. And you look at the total number of World Series wins. The Yankees are way out in front with 27. Then the St. Louis Cardinals. They've been around forever. But how about the Oakland A's? They moved to Oakland in 1969. They have 9 World Series wins.
Taking them 3 cities to get those 9 World Series wins. Philadelphia, Kansas City, and Oakland. But that's impressive.
Yep. Off the end of the bat, Melky Cabrera squibs it to first. Blanks tosses to Pomeranz. Andrew Pomeranz has sorted things out. Took him just 10 pitches to dispatch the Blue Jays in the third. Sportsnet 1 and City TV, and James Hinchcliffe has moved up to 5th as we speak. About 125 miles left. 3 Canadians in the race today: Alex Tagliani, Jacques Villeneuve. There have been 12 Canadians that have raced in the Indianapolis 500. Only 1 winner. That was Villeneuve in 1995. Today, James Hinchcliffe is trying to become the second. On a scoreless ball game, we move to the 4th inning. It's the cleanup man, Yoenis Cespedes. He struck out his first time up. There's a first pitch changeup for a strike. There's an effective pitch other than the fastball.
Yeah, just show him. He got Cespedes with a couple of high heaters, so he starts him off with a changeup.
Pops this one into right. Bautista moving over, calls for it. One down. That changeup just got Cespedes off that fastball just slightly, enough to get him to pop up.
That's a good adjustment that you make. We just talked about it last inning about second time through. You might have to show him a little something different.
Derek Norris. Norris came into this game batting .356 over his last 26 games. And has led him to that .321 average for the season.
He's a good hitter. He's a good player. Another instance where Billy Beane recognized talent in another organization and then traded for him. This guy has more walks than strikeouts this year.
Came along with A.J. Cole, Brad Peacock, Tommy Malone from the Washington Nationals. He was originally drafted by the Nationals. 4th round pick in 2007.
That was the Gio Gonzalez trade, wasn't it? When Gonzalez went to the Nationals?
Yeah, Gonzalez bounced around quite a bit early in his career. It's interesting that Derek Norris hit 2 home runs off Gio Gonzalez in Oakland early this season, both on 3-0 counts. Check swing tapper back to the mound. Knapp has plenty of time. 2 easy outs here in the 5th. So far, so good. Second time through the order. He's retired all 5 he's faced. Brandon Moss, the right fielder. Moss struck out his first time up. You want to get this guy with 2 outs because Babe Ruth is standing on deck. Alberto Callaspo, he gets a hit every time he sees a Blue Jay uniform.
Ted Williams. Ted Williams, because he got a better batting average. This guy always gets a hit. 3-0 now to Moss, and he's got some power, so don't just lay it in there. Sure, he's got the green light here, ready to swing away. You can see Eric Kratz telling his pitcher, hey, he's going to be swinging.
Made a good pitch out on the outside corner. Another good fastball fouled back out of play.
All right, where do you go now? You struck him out his first time up with a heater up and in. You battle back into the count. Do you stay aggressive and go back to that fastball?
Stay with the fastball. Missed inside. Had an idea to jam him, but he'll walk him. The walk comes with 2 outs. Second walk issued by Happ this afternoon.
Yeah, he wanted to go in there. You can see Moss is right on top of that plate where he's set up in that batter's box. So Jay went right back in there.
So with Moss at first, Alberto Callaspo and a broken bat single in the second. Callaspo was picked up by the A's in a trade with the Angels. A's sent Grant Green to L.A. for Callaspo. Eric Kratz has done a nice job receiving the pitches and turned that ball into a strike. Off-speed pitch, foul. Well, now he's got Callaspo back and forth. They threw him a couple fastballs, and they got him out in front in that changeup. This might be a good time for curveball. 1-2. Bounce that curveball in the dirt.
Throw one for a strike here. I'm with you on the breaking ball. He hasn't seen one yet.
Breaking ball should have been strike 3, wasn't. Tried to catch that back door and just missed.
Boy, Ed, he had him set up for it. His reaction, he just didn't know if he should pull the trigger because he hasn't seen one yet. And that one just went around the plate.
Now he missed it. It's a full count. Powerful Kyle Blanks is on deck. Moss at first will be off on the pitch. Popped in the air. Melky Cabrera calls for it, and Pilar is there. They cross their wires, but Pilar makes the catch. The inning is over. 4 straight innings. The A's have stranded a runner. Jose Bautista will lead things off, followed by Edwin Encarnacion and Brett Florley. It's scoreless. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Changing play. Blue Jays in 60 seconds after every game only on sportsnet.ca. So check it out. If you missed something, you want to see it again, we'll have it for you in 60 seconds. All the highlights, all the great plays, all the game-changing action. Jose Bautista struck out on a high breaking ball his first time up. Pomeranz gets that breaking ball in there. He's gotten the touch and feel on that breaking ball now.
Yeah, it's a good one. He starts it outside of the strike zone and drops it on the outer half for those right-handers.
Push Bautista back with a fastball. That's the old cat and mouse game. Now where does he go? Come back with a breaking ball or back up that inside fastball? You
know, there's just not a lot of history of Pomeranz out there. I told you he's had his last 3 starts just 5 innings because they're trying to build up his arm strength after moving him out of the bullpen. He hasn't given up a run as a starter yet.
The A's haven't given up a run in any of his starts. He started, the A's shut out Seattle 2-0. Shut out the White Sox 11-0. And in Tampa Bay, they shut out the Rays 3-0.
Wow.
2-2. Bautista pops it up into center field. Callaspo, the second baseman, makes the catch. 1 down. The MasterCard Memorial Cup, it's down to the final game for junior hockey supremacy in Canada. The championship final at the MasterCard Memorial Cup between Edmonton and Guelph goes this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern on 4 Sportsnet channel. Edwin Encarnacion walked his first time up, takes the ball outside. Fouls that one into the seats. Yesterday, we mentioned Encarnacion and Bautista, they went 0 for 8 in the game. But I was talking with Chili Davis, the hitting coach for the A's. He said the best, most impressive at bat all afternoon was Encarnacion's at bat in the second. After the leadoff double, he fell behind 0-2 and hit a ball to the right side of the infield. He said that was beautiful. You got a power hitter sacrificing his at bat to move the runner from second to third. He says once your team sees guys like Bautista and Encarnacion hitting the ball to the right side, then everybody jumps on board.
They buy in, don't they, after that? He did that with 2 strikes, and that is really hard to ask a guy who's really not known to hit the ball the other way to do that with 2 strikes. He added one other thing to that, didn't he, about finishing off the job?
Yeah, he said when I used to do that and run by the hitter, I'd say, now focus, make sure you pick up that run. There's a deep drive to left field. Get up, stay fair, gone, home run, Edwin Encarnacion, number 14.
Throw your votes in right now for Player of the Week. That might be the guy right there. He does it again. It looked like he tried to slip a fastball by him. They set up on the inner half, but Edwin, he is so quick on the inner half. He's trying to keep that ball fair, and he does. Number 14.
His 12th home run in May. That leads the majors. Brett Lawrie singles up the middle. Second time through the order, the Blue Jays break through.
Edwin recognizes it. You can see it, and then he unloads. He sees fastball. They're going to try and come inside, and he's waiting for it. Compact swing from a strong player. The ball goes a long way.
That 12th home run in May ties Encarnacion with Jose Bautista for the most home runs in a month in franchise history in May. So they have both had 12 home run Mays. You look back on the Blue Jays' history of home runs in May. Bautista did that in 2010. Encarnacion here in 14. Bautista had an 11 home run month in May of 2011. Troy Glaus had 11 in 2006. George Bell had 11 in 1987. First time anybody has scored since Drew Pomeranz has started. This is his 4th start of the season.
Just the 3rd home run that he's given up this year. Gave up a couple of them in his 9 relief appearances.
Down to Navarro now with a 2-1 count. This is popped over the Blue Jays dugout into the seats. Blue Jays trying to stretch their winning streak to 6 games. They had an 11-game win streak last June. Jays are 2 games ahead in the AL East.
And you ask him about that. It's too early in the season to start looking at the standings. Just get out there and play consistent baseball. That's all the players are worried about right now.
Yeah, but it feels good.
Oh, it feels great. Fans love it. I mean, they are. Everybody I run into on the streets are talking about the Toronto Blue Jays.
Jays are playing well, getting good pitching, timely hitting, and pounding out home runs. They've hit more home runs than anybody in baseball. Navarro stays alive. The Encarnacion home run is the 70th home run the Blue Jays have hit this season. Steve Tollefson has added to that total. He hit a home run here on Friday night, his first of the season. The Blue Jays have 6 players with 8 or more home runs. Navarro gets a piece of that breaking ball to stay alive.
And why not? Hit a home run on the day they're giving away your jersey. Now it's Jose's turn. Giving away Bautista Encarnacion jerseys this afternoon to the fans. Edwin's already homered. There's one. Jose's next.
Two and two to Navarro. Pulled through the left side for a base hit. Home run, single for the Blue Jays here with 1 out in the 4th.
Canon's Best in Glass sales event. Performance cameras and lenses at the season's best prices. Visit canon.ca/bestinglass.
Kurt Young, the pitching coach, out to talk to Drew Pomerantz. Blue Jays have taken the early lead. It's 1-0 on Edwin Encarnacion's solo home run. Brett Lawrie singled, then Deanna Navarro had a good at bat, and he singles. Steve Tollefson caught looking at strike 3 in the 2nd. Pomerantz all of a sudden has lost command of that curveball. Such a good pitch for him early.
The Blue Jays at bats have been a little bit better the second time through. They have an understanding what they want to do with it. His fastball has been good to him this year so far for Pomerantz. So hitting just 200 on that fastball.
Pomeranz distracted by Laurie at second, and the Blue Jays have done this all series long. They get guys on base, and they've gotten into the heads of the A's pitchers. Now 2-0. You divide a pitcher's attention between the bases and the batter, more often than not that results in problems.
And he shouldn't be worried about what Brett Laurie is doing out at second base. I don't think he's really a threat to steal where they are in the lineup. But you're right, you start worrying about the guys on base and you lose that focus, and all of a sudden you fall behind hitters.
Eric Kratz, the catcher, on deck. It's a 3-0 count to Tolleson. There's a strike. Despite winning the first 2 games of this series and taking the lead here today, the Blue Jays in the series are 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position. They haven't been able to really capitalize on all of their scoring opportunities. Foul back. Edwin Encarnacion homered with 1 out. Then Brett Laurie singled to center on the first pitch he saw. John Navarro had a good at bat, fouled off a couple of pitches before he singled. First and second for Steve Tolleson. It's a full count, 1 out. Kratz waits on deck. Ripped down the left side, but foul. The A's as a staff lead the majors with a 188 opponent's batting average with runners in scoring position. That's why the Blue Jays are 0 for 14 in this series. Ball forward. That'll load the bases for Eric Kratz. Second time through the order, Blue Jays have shown patience, and they have figured out Drew Pomeranz. Now they really have him on the ropes.
And had some good at-bats against him. The Navarro at-bat really rushed him. Got that pitch count up. Tolleson worked him for a walk. And now Jays looking for that one big hit.
Well, Pomeranz, after the walk, Eric Kratz has got to be geared up for that first pitch strike.
He's a good fastball hitter, too. Been his best pitch, the fastball. Look for it.
He got it. It was a good pitch, maybe off the plate inside. The Blue Jays have had 2 grand slams this season. Brett Laurie and Colby Erasmus. Kratz has never hit a grand slam. Eric Kratz has been negotiating over the strike zone, catching all afternoon, and he had a couple of close calls. That one looked like it might have been off the plate inside.
Yeah, he's upset. He says, you know, you don't give that to my pitcher, and now I'm hitting, and you call it against me. Now he's got a battle with 2 strikes.
0-2, 1 out, bases are loaded. On the ground. Lowry to second for 1, back to first, double play. The Blue Jays can't take advantage of a bases loaded situation, but they take the lead on the Encarnacion home run. It's 1-0 Jays. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg's arm. Reserve seat at Rogers Center. 2014 Blue Jays season tickets are still available. So make sure you call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234 or log online at bluejays.com to become part of the action here at Rogers Center. Pick up your own Blue Jays season tickets for the 2014 season. And remember, you can always find out about the roof when you listen to 680 News for the Rogers Center Roof Reports. They'll tell you whether you're indoors or outdoors about 3 hours before the game. Make sure you check it out. 680 News to find out about the roof. Number 8 hitter is Kyle Blanks. Pops this up and it's going to reach the seats. The A's have stranded a single runner in each of the first 4 innings. Jay Happ's done a nice job of pitching around a couple of walks. Gave up a leadoff bunt single in the 3rd. Craig Gentry. But so far he's kept the A's off the scoreboard.
Yeah, the pitches have been tough pitches.
There's another tough pitch deep in the hole. Reyes not in time. Kyle Blanks got down to the bag in time. It's a infield single.
The 2014 Honda CR-V. Honda, proud to be the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Big crowd on hand here at Rogers Center as they gave away replica jerseys today of Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion. Kyle Blanks with a leadoff single. Center fielder Craig Gentry had a bunt single his first time up. Breaking ball for a strike. The A's have had the leadoff man on board in 3 innings now. They've not been able to capitalize on that.
Well, that's what I was saying about pressure pitches and tough pitches. You get that leadoff batter on and you're right into the stretch like Jay Happ has been. Every pitch becomes a do or die pitch for you, and they're not easy pitches. You got to make pitches. He's had a couple of long innings, and this is the spot in his last start where he started to run into a little trouble. That 5th inning.
He's been able to get his changeup and breaking ball over effectively while still throwing a lot of fastballs. Fouled off his foot. Gentry hit that breaking ball right down on top of his foot. It's a 1-0 game. The Jays have homered now for 8 straight games. Torrey had a home run yesterday. Encarnacion today. That's 8 straight games with a home run. Gentry strikes out. 5 strikeouts for Jay Happ.
Fastball, upper part of the strike zone. Had a little cut to it also. Jay will cut his fastball at times. He'll sink it at times. That time it had a little cutting action on it and got underneath his bat.
Coco Crisp has struck out and walked. Goes after the first pitch. The A's got off to a great start. They were 18-9 in April. They've slipped to 12-9 here in May, and they're currently 5-3 on this 9-game road trip.
9 games, 3 cities. I mean, it can take its toll on you. It's tough.
Tough on Oakland, as they're a West Coast team, obviously. And they'll have a lot of those extended road trips. Had a 9-game road trip in the middle of April. Minnesota, Seattle, Anaheim. This one started in Cleveland. 3 in Cleveland, then an off day in St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay for 3, and then they came here. Seems like it'd be a little bit easier if they went Cleveland, Toronto, than Tampa Bay, but who am I to judge?
Yeah.
Fly ball to center. Pilar gets back, and Crisp is retired.
Or Tampa, Cleveland, Toronto, but we'll let them deal with all those miles as you put on the back. It can wear you down.
They will have another 10 or 9-game road trip. New York, Baltimore, Los Angeles.
What? They're coming from the West Coast. They're coming. Wow. All right. Whatever.
At the end of a road trip, yeah, that's tough. Go down and play the Angels. 2 outs.
Be careful early in the count here to Donaldson. He's hitting over 500 on an 0-0 count.
And he is looking fastball. And he's got pop. He's got 10 home runs. So they start him off with a curveball. Each team with just 3 hits. The Blue Jays have the big hit. A solo home run off the bat of Edwin Encarnacion. Now 2-0 to Donaldson. The A's have hit 30 home runs this season with runners on base. Second in the American League only to the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have hit 31 home runs with runners aboard. 3-0. Jed Lowry is on deck. He's got 0 for 2 so far this afternoon. Jay Happ working in the 5th.
Well, 3-0, you got to. You've been struggling to score runs. You got one of your better home run hitters, Chili Davis. Hitting coach said, that's all right. I'll take my chances with my home run hitter.
And that's the kind of swing he wants to see on a 3-0 count. Don't be half-stepping. Donaldson walks. 2 on, 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Wow, what an unfortunate development at Indy. Carpenter and Hinchcliffe were side by side to start the race. Row one. 2 outs. He's threatening in the 5th. They trail 1-0.
Might be a sign that Jay Happ is getting a little tired. All those fastballs are now up. Just don't have that same drive with your lower half. Going to have to make some kind of adjustment now. He tried.
Too much of an adjustment. He misses downstairs now. Happ working from behind in this inning. Jed Lowry coming into this game, a 192 hitter here at Rogers Center.
If you're getting tired like that, not a bad idea to take a little bit more time in between pitches, which seems to be the game plan that Jay's using right now. Take your time and make a good pitch.
He did. Fly ball to right. This should end the inning. Bautista is there, and the A's strand 2 more. It's a 1-0 game. Oakland has stranded 6 so far in this game. Blue Jays have the lead. Beautiful afternoon at Rogers Center. 25 degrees at the start of this game, and who couldn't ask for a better game? 1-0 game. Pitchers are locked in a pitcher's duel. Only 6 hits in the ball game. Big blow so far, the Edwin Encarnacion home run. His 14th of the season. Jay Happ has stranded 6 base runners. Oakland is 0 for 11 with runners on base this afternoon. Kevin Pillar, a strikeout victim, back in the 3rd. Pillar is one of those guys you watch hit and you go, But he's always had a knack for getting hits. Going back to college, throughout his minor league career.
And that's the tricky part for a hitting coach who is working with him for the first time. Do you break down his swing and start all over and change things? Kevin Seitzer says no. The first thing I want to get right is his head, is his mind, his approach at the plate, and that is to look for the fastball, sit on it, and look up the middle. Oh, look at that. Sit on the heater and try and hit it back through the middle. Pretty good plan.
He's going to get a gold star in class for that one. Got a 2-0 fastball, looking for the fastball, hit it up the middle.
Yeah. You were right. He's got a knack for getting base hits. He got a double down the right field line the other day, and now sends one back through the middle. That is a good start right there. Good finish.
Pilar can run. Reyes can handle the bat. Reyes bunts and bunts it foul. Jose Reyes walked and had a stolen base in the first. He grounded out the second in the third. Took a shot at that big hole on the right side of the infield.
It looked like it, didn't it? Like he was taking a shot over there. With Blanks, the first baseman, holding Pilar on, there's a huge hole on the right side. It looked like Jose took one shot, just to dribble a ball through the right side.
Little flare that's going to drop into foul ground. The Pitch Tracker is brought to you by Acer, official partner of the Toronto Blue Jays. It's a 1-0 game. The Blue Jays won on Friday night, 3-2. Yesterday afternoon, they won 5-2. And they have a 1-0 lead. Chopped up the third baseline. Pomeranz makes the play, and it's an infield hit. Josh Donaldson had a better chance, the third baseman, of making that play than the pitcher.
And he might have been trying to call him off. That's his ball because his momentum is going over towards first base. Pomeranz has to get over, catch it, stop on the turf, wind up, and throw. And by that time, it's just too late for Reyes, as he's going to make it every time. Donaldson's momentum was coming over. He has played those plays before. Quick. Blue Jays will take it.
Yeah, absolutely, they'll take it. Another infield hit. So now Melky Cabrera, the A's expecting bunt. Donaldson in at third. And Pomeranz just wants to see if Melky Cabrera will tip his hand.
That's a set play right there. Pitchers will use that inside move right there as Jim Johnson gets up for the second time this afternoon, get loose. They'll use that inside move just to see if the batter will square around.
Cabrera squares around. The curveball is in the dirt. Well, Blue Jays can do a lot of things here. Donaldson was really late reacting to Cabrera squaring around. He didn't move until that ball hit the dirt.
And Melky was very late in squaring around. And a chance now for Kurt Young to come out and buy some time.
Tell you what, Bob Melvin knows this is an explosive ball club that can strike at any point in their lineup. And with a 1-0 lead right now, he's feeling like, well, we better make sure we shut him down now. When you look at the balance of power for the Blue Jays, where their hitters rank in the American League, it's very impressive.
Well, Edwin with his 14th is now second in the American League. You got Jose, and don't forget about Colby Rasmus with his 9 home runs. Melky and Brett Lawrie rounding out the top 15 in the American League. But they also can play small ball, which we saw yesterday.
Which you have to do against good pitching. Cabrera squares again and pokes it foul. The 6th man on that list is Juan Francisco, who also has 8 home runs. So he too is tied for 15. I mean, this is what's so dangers about this lineup. If you get one man down, you're not out of the woods. They can get you anywhere in the order. Ball and a strike to Melky Cabrera. Takes a close one. No sign of a bunt there.
Boy, they could do anything right here. Melky can handle the bat. They can put the bunt back on if they want to. They can let him swing away. He's hitting over 300. And they let him swing away. I think John Gibbons senses that Pomerantz has lost his command, so don't give him an out by bunting into an out.
Right. And you better get to Pomerantz because the A's bullpen is one of the best in baseball. The Blue Jays are now 0 for 15 with runners in scoring position in this series. That'll load the bases for Bautista. And that'll probably do it for Pomerantz. Here comes Bob Melvin. Melky Cabrera walked to load the bases. And the Blue Jays will chase Drew Pomerantz. Pomerantz, in his 4th start this season for Oakland, has given up his first run as a starter. And now he will turn it over to Jim Johnson in the A's bullpen. Johnson coming in to face Bautista with the bases loaded and nobody out. The June 8th when the Blue Jays take on National League champion St. Louis Cardinals. It all starts at 1:07 p.m. The first 20,000 fans will receive a Jose Reyes bobblehead. Call the Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234 or log online to BlueJays.com. Jim Johnson into the game.
Jays know all about Jim Johnson from his days with the Baltimore Orioles.
Bautista goes after the first pitch, base hit. Pillar's in to score. Here comes Reyes, and the throw is in time. Yoenis Cespedes cuts down Reyes with a perfect one-hop throw, and John Gibbons is going to come out and check on the umpire. The Blue Jays will wait on the replay. Cespedes made a terrific throw.
He charged it and got rid of it quickly. Watch this accurate throw by Cespedes. One hop. And Derek Norris gives the umpire a shot at the baseball. Cespedes now has 3 outfield assists if he stays with it. What a short hop catch by Norris, the catcher. That's just a heck of a play by Cespedes on one end and the catcher Norris on the other end.
Reyes cut down at the plate. It's now a 2-0 game. Bautista picks up the RBI, his 33rd of the season. Still just one out. Edwin Encarnacion homered his last time up. Jim Johnson into the game. Encarnacion is 1 for 11 against Johnson.
And then, like I said, they know all about Jim Johnson. With his years with the Baltimore Orioles, he has faced them 38 times in his career. Faced the Blue Jays. Hard sinker and a nice little slider.
This is not a save situation, obviously, but Jim Johnson had suffered 5 blown saves as the closer for the Orioles at the hands of the Blue Jays. That's tied for the most against any one club in his career.
Got to make him get that sinker up. Bob Melvin brings him in here in a tight situation, looking for the ground ball.
First and second, 1 out. Bautista keeping his eye on Melky Cabrera at second. Ripped foul just outside of third.
Well, Edwin is looking for a pitch up so he can do what he did in the 4th inning. Right here. Pitch on the inner half. Fastball. 371 feet that ball was measured down the left field line for his 14th. Got to make him get it up.
Off-speed pitch is lifted into shallow center. Callaspa goes back. The ball hits and drops. Melky Cabrera goes to third. Bautista's out at second. Johnson did a terrific job of going to second. Now the umpires are going to convene on this.
I think John Gibbons came out and pointed that he wanted that to challenge. I guess that's why they're going to the crew chief right away, and they're going to go look at it.
Yeah, Gibbons didn't even come out to talk to the umpire. He indicated, I want to challenge that.
Heads up play, first of all, by Jim Johnson, the pitcher, to get out to second base, knowing that it was uncovered because the shortstop and the second baseman went out. The infield fly rule is not into effect because you got to be camped underneath the ball, and there was nobody camped underneath that ball, so the infield fly is out. But a heads up play by Jim Johnson to cover second base.
Now the crowd reacting to the replay on the jumbotron here at Rogers Center. But John Gibbons didn't hesitate. He said, hey, I got to take a shot here just in case. The play is under review. Here's Jim Johnson, the pitcher, who went right to second. Bautista looks like he's going to be safe. Looked like the foot hit the bag before the ball hit the glove.
It's got to be a definitive call if they're going to change this one because he was banged out by the umpire. He's not on the bag.
Ted Barrett is the crew chief on his umpiring crew. And he is there with the umpire from second base who made the call. Now, Ted Barrett listening to New York, another look at it, and Jim Johnson, he made a heads-up play, getting to the bag and stretching like a first baseman. But Bautista, he was in no man's land because there was a pop-up.
Yeah, that is really close. It looked like the right foot was just about ready to touch the bag.
Paul Schreiber had the perfect position to make the call at second base, the umpire. Bautista, he can't commit. Looked like it was going to be caught.
Jim Johnson, 6'6", and made like a first baseman. That was a great play by the pitcher. Stripped right to the baseball.
Well, the length of the review will indicate just how tough a call this is. And they want to make sure they get it right, obviously. They now have a decision. And the call on the field stands up. Now, Gibbons is out to argue. And he's saying, well, we looked at it on the scoreboard, and now Ted Barrett is saying, wait a minute, you can't argue this. And he has thrown him out. And that's part of the rule once you get the review. It looks like Gibbons is pointing to the Jumbotron and said, I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
So Edwin Encarnacion is going to lose a hit. That's going to be a force out at second base. If you're scoring at home, it looked like the center fielder to Johnson. Force out. Melky Cabrera moves up to third base. Let's look at it one more time. A great stretch. You just can't tell if his foot is on the bag or not.
Laurie goes after that first pitch and hits it into the second deck, way foul. So Gibbons has been ejected from the ball game. The Blue Jays have added a run. They now lead at 2-0. Brett Laurie with an 0-1 count. Bautista really couldn't do anything about that. He had to go halfway. It looked like it was going to be caught. The A's made a nice defensive play on it.
Jim Johnson, what a heads-up play. Usually the third baseman is the guy that when both middle infielders go out for a pop-up like that, he'll go and cover second. But with the runner at second, he had to hold his ground at third base alertly. Jim Johnson covered up the bag at second.
Laurie hits it to short. Lowry throws on the run. The inning is over. Blue Jays leave a pair, but they've taken a 2-0 lead. We've played 5. We'll go to the 6th. And fans, here comes the Home Hardware cleanup crew, brought to you by Natura. Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. interesting and exciting conclusion to the Indy 500. Pretty interesting game going on right here. Jay Happ and the Jays have a 2-0 lead. Yoenis Cespedes takes his strike. Cespedes threw out Jose Reyes at the plate on a fine throw, one hop.
Oh, that could have been a big inning for the Blue Jays if not for the defense of the A's. And that's why they have such a good record. They don't beat themselves.
You know, it's interesting. They've committed 36 errors, but that has led to just 11 unearned runs. Jim Johnson made a nice heads-up play. Center fielder Gentry recovered after the ball hit the ground. He got the force out of second. Cespedes and Norris teamed up to cut down Reyes.
Those 11 earned runs off of the errors tied for the fewest in the American League. So they just don't beat themselves.
Breaking ball, and Cespedes strikes out. One down.
The 2014 Honda CR-V. Honda, proud to be the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Left-hander Aaron Loop is loose in the bullpen. He's just going along pitch for pitch with Jay Happ. One out. We're in the sixth. Norris cues this one off the end of the bat. That's going to drop for a base hit. Bautista will play it off the wall. It is interfered with by a fan. I just don't get the fans here. Bautista is frustrated. He said, man, I had a shot to make a throw there. And Blue Jay fans sitting in that first row reach over for a souvenir. And Bautista is positioned perfectly to play it off the wall and make a throw to second.
Yeah, give the home team a chance to throw the guy out right there. If you want a ball, we'll get you a ball.
We'll get you a ball. But let Bautista throw. So it's a double down the right field line. It was cued off the end of the bat. 2-0 ball game. Brandon Moss has struck out and walked. Then he goes after the first pitch and lifts a pop-up. Reyes makes a catch. Two down. Jay Happ done a terrific job. The A's have had a base runner on in each inning so far. Happ has stranded 6 to this point.
And he's had to do it early in the inning also. Leadoff batter of the game in the first gets on. Leadoff batter of the third, fifth. And he's pitched around trouble.
Alberto Callaspa one for cheer. The A's against Happ this afternoon are 0 for 12 with runners on base. Driven to left field. Melky Cabrera back at the wall. Makes the catch. Melky Cabrera stayed with it. The ball took him right up against the fence. And the defense has been outstanding all season long. Cabrera has a bead on it. Won't give up on it. Makes the catch up against the wall. 2-0 Jays. defense, and Melky Cabrera just bailed out Jay Happ as he stays with this ball and makes the catch up against the fence.
Yeah, help out your starter right there. You know he's getting some help also from his mates out in the bullpen telling him how close he's getting to that wall, but he finds it, reaches up and takes it out. And that's just one part of what has happened over the last 20 games.
They've gone 15-5. They have pitched well. They have hit well. Their run differential's plus 26, and they have out-homered their opponents 33-16. So every aspect of the ball club has really come together. Gianna Navarro 1 for 2. We had a key hit in the 4th inning. Tough at bat. He would get the 3rd straight hit off of to Pomerantz. This time he hits it on the ground to short. 1 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update. Thank you, Jamie. It sounded like an exciting finish to the Indy 500. Unfortunately, James Hinchcliffe was up in the 5th position, got into a crash, and was knocked out of the race. Tollison bunts it. Johnson reached with a bare hand, and he can't make a play. Steve Tollison. Boy, if you don't think the Blue Jays have changed their personality, all you got to do is watch a couple of games. Here we are in a 2-0 game. You got guys bunting, guys stealing bases, and great defense all over the field.
Yeah, you got to do those little things to help you win ball games. Get that pitcher involved if he's not known as a very good fielder. Get him involved. If it's not R.A. Dickey or if it's not Mark Burley, take your chance.
Tollison knows Johnson well. They were teammates in Baltimore. The bunt single with 1 out. Catcher Eric Kratz 0 for 2. Goes after the first pitch and hits it high and deep to center. Gentry has room. Tollison hustles back, but he won't be able to tag. Sounded like Kratz may have hit it toward the end of the bat.
He muscled that ball. He didn't square it up. He muscled it and almost got enough of it.
So Kevin Pillar is the scheduled batter, and he has been called back to the dugout. Anthony Ghost more than likely will come on to hit. Nope, there's Anthony on the bench. Well, they got plenty of left-handed bats. They've got Ghost, Lind, and Francisco. So they have some options, and now it seems as though they're waiting on somebody to come out of the chute to come on as a pinch hitter. Umpire Mark Carl sits over saying, there he is. It's Adam Lind.
Sure, Gibby is right down there underneath the dugout there, pulling the strings. Got Lind up.
So with the Blue Jays facing a left-handed starter, they have the best bench they could possibly have. You've got Ghost on the bench with Tola. You've got Lind and Francisco, 2 powerful left-handed bats. So when you do have a switch to a right-handed reliever, you've got lots of weapons to come off the bench. So Lind has had success against Johnson in the past. He is 6 for 17. That's a .353 batting average. Well, you certainly don't want Tollison running here.
No.
You've pinch hit for your center fielder, and you're going to have to put Ghost in the game.
Yeah, you're going to use 2 players now for Pillar. So you don't want to have Tollison get thrown out. You just waste the at-bat then.
Lind, as a pinch hitter this season, is 1 for 2 with a couple of RBIs.
And the hope here right now by John Gibbons is you bring a guy who has faced Johnson before in the past, who has extra base power, and you're hoping for a ball in the gap to get a run.
Mark Burley has taken over as the... Oh, no, not really.
As the skipper.
He's sitting down there in John Gibbons' spot. Gibby was ejected in the bottom of the 5th.
Just running a few things by the bench coach, DeMarlo Hale.
We've talked to a lot of the coaches, and they say Mark Burley is as well informed as any player on the team about signs, situations. He's a baseball player. Louis Rivera was telling me that Burley knows his signs at third base.
Now that's rare for a pitcher who never hits to know the signs of your team. They never go to those meetings.
Burley doesn't even go to pitcher meetings.
Why should he?
You guys figure it out. I'm just going to pitch. 2-0 Jays. We're at the bottom of the 6th. Lind gets a piece of it. Lind has had 4 career pinch hit home runs. And he's in tough against Jim Johnson. He throws that heavy sinking fastball. It's difficult to get that thing in the air. Two balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jim Johnson in relief with the starter, Drew Pomeranz. Johnson, of course, the 50 save closer of the Orioles last year. So Lind is very familiar with the A's right-hander. Spent his entire career with the Orioles before this past offseason trade. Popped up behind home plate. Norris has a beat on it, makes the catch, and the inning is over. Lind pops out as the pinch hitter. We'll go to the 7th. Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead. And it's down to the final game for junior hockey supremacy in Canada. The championship final at the MasterCard Memorial Cup between Edmonton and Guelph goes this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern on 4 Sportsnet channels. Make sure you watch it. Edmonton had that terrific triple overtime win in the semifinals, and it'll be a great finish to the MasterCard Memorial Cup. Into the ball game defensively is Anthony Gose, who takes over in center field. Then pinch hit for Kevin Pillar. Jay Happ out to start the seventh. First pitch swinging. Kyle Blanks lifts it high into the air into right. Bautista staying with it. That wind and sun were really challenging for Bautista.
Boy, he put that glove up right away to shield his eyes of that sun. Right field is always the toughest because late into a game, that sun is going to be right in your eyes right when that ball goes in the air. And watch how it goes up. He's blocking off the sun. Stay on the side. That's what you want to do. Stay on the side of the baseball right there so you don't lose track of it.
Center fielder Craig Gentry had a bunt single in the third. Corners are in a bit. Takes the first pitch strike. Boy, Hatt's done a great job using that fastball. Curveball on the ground. Laurie gets a nice hop. 2 up, 2 down here in the seventh. Jay Happ has really taken command of this game, and it goes against his patterns this season.
First time through the lineup, 234, then it really jumps on him up to 345 and 357. Third time through the lineup, he had a walk and a double. That was the only thing against him. Second time through the lineup, a walk and an infield hit. So he's getting stronger as the game goes along.
Done a terrific job. He and Eric Kratz, the catcher, have really neutralized this potent A's lineup. Back to the top of the order, Coco Crisp. There's nothing quite as sweet as strike one.
Justin McGowan is up. I got a feeling that this might be Jay's last batter right here. If he loses him, you'll probably see the pitching change. If he gets him, McGowan can start the eighth.
Josh Donaldson is a right-handed bat on deck. Chris rips it foul. It's now 1-2. Jay Happ trying to go 7 innings for the first time this season. Last year he had 7 or more just 3 times.
One of those last year was against the A's.
August 12th. He went 7 innings, allowed 3 hits, but lost the game 5-1. 1-2, 2 outs. Curveball. Chris stays alive. Happ in that ball game did not lose the game. He received a no decision. The Blue Jays lost 5-1. They gave up 1 run on 3 hits. Another 1-2 pitch. It's a season high in pitches for Jay Happ, and once again, it's been an easy 107.
Using the fastball, he's been doing that. He's been hitting the spots. Crisp is going to make him work for this one, though. 7 pitch at bat.
Two outs. It's a 2-0 ball game. Hit on the ground, foul. You got to make Crisp hit his way on. You got a powerful hitter behind him in Josh Donaldson. finish. If that's all for Jay Happ, he retires the final 5 he faces. Coco Crisp strikes out to end the 7th. 7 strikeouts for Jay Happ. He's shut out the A's on just 4 hits. The TD Comfort Zone are winners of a contest from TD. Congratulations, and you couldn't pick a better day to be at the ballpark. While over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse, we welcome visitors from the Rookie League Boys and Girls Club of London. Exciting day to be at the ballpark. Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead as they will bat in the bottom of the 7th.
Luke Gregerson in for the Oakland Athletics. He's a rubber arm. This is his 25th game already this season. 388 games now since 2009, most in the major leagues over that span. He was with San Diego. Blue Jays saw him last year when they were out in San Diego. You get a lot of breaking balls from Gregerson. He's got a good one. Tough on right-handers. You can see righties hitting just 208 because of that good breaking ball.
We mentioned how effective this A's bullpen is, and Gregerson is responsible for some of that. Bottom of the 7th inning, Jose Reyes has been on base again twice today. Reyes is doing his job as a leadoff hitter.
Get on base, make things happen. This is a very stingy bullpen for the Oakland A's. They allow the fewest hits per 9 innings in the American League.
Reyes now has an 8-game hit streak. Speed pitch lifted down the right side. That's out of play. Reyes was gunned down at the plate in the 5th inning trying to score on a single by Jose Bautista. Bautista knocked in Pilar, but then Yoenis Cespedes made a terrific one-hop throw to the catcher to get Reyes at the plate.
Great play on the other end of that also by the catcher.
Changeup is ripped into right field. Reyes has been on base 3 times this afternoon.
Starting to heat up. Ball was up, and Reyes all over that one. Off-speed pitch, he hangs over the middle. That's his first career hit off of Gregerson.
Nobody out. You got to believe that Reyes is thinking about stealing second. Had a stolen base in the 1st. Got a big lead. Pitch out. Reyes smelled a rat.
Gregerson unloaded that one pretty quickly. And if you're around for a while and you see a pitcher do something different like that, maybe hurry up his throw to home, got to figure something's up.
Two and 0. Again, the threat of a steal distracting the pitcher. Falls behind Melky Cabrera. Now 3-0. Bautista waits on deck. There goes Reyes, takes a strike, and Reyes has another stolen base. Running on 3-0.
All right, think about that. Let's think this through. Why are you running on a 3-0 pitch? The pitcher thinks, well, he's not going anywhere, so he's a little bit slower towards home. The defense is resting a little bit because they think that he's going to be staying at first base. I think he caught everybody by surprise.
Flat-footed. He now has 9 stolen bases. It's only a 2-run game. Blue Jays lead at 2-0. Cabrera fouls it off the catcher. With Reyes on base and creating havoc, this lineup is much more dangerous because he's going to steal bases, he's going to score, as we saw twice from second base yesterday.
Yeah, he doesn't have to score on a base hit. He scored on a couple of ground outs from second.
Cabrera didn't like the call, and you can see why. Looked like it was outside. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Tampa Bay going into this game had 3 consecutive walk-off wins. Boston yesterday had a 5-0 lead against David Price, who gave up 5 in the first. Bautista had a good cut.
He's going to see a lot of breaking balls here from Luke Gregerson.
Jose picked up an RBI against Jim Johnson. Johnson just entered the game. Bautista hit a single to left to drive in Kevin Pillar.
Sinker. He might take a shot now with 2 strikes to right field. Again, a huge hole on the right side of the infield for him.
Callaspo, the second baseman, is directly behind the pitcher. Big gap between Blanks and Callaspo. Bautista gets a piece of it to stay alive. Reyes is trying to time up Gregerson, and Gregerson sensed it. There goes Reyes, pitch in the dirt, no chance. 3 steals on the afternoon for Reyes.
You know what? You were right. Gregerson sensed it in his delivery to home. Watch how abbreviated it is right there. trying to quick pitch him, and he yanks that breaking ball into the other batter's box. And Reyes has another stolen base. Now the infield has to come in.
Bautista with another RBI opportunity, drawn in infield. 1-2. That'll do it. Fly ball to left. Reyes tags Bautista with a sac fly. Big insurance run here in the 7th.
Against tough pitching, you got to be able to manufacture runs, and Bautista loving what he saw from Jose Reyes.
Now it's time for the drive of the game, brought to you by the 2014 Honda CR-V. Honda, proud to be the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Edwin is going to get a fastball in her half in our drive of the game. His 14th home run down the left field line. Plenty of room to spare.
Home run number 14 was the 12th home run Edwin has hit this month. That's off the end of the bat. Kyle Blank's over. He's going to run out of room. Three runs on 8 hits for the Blue Jays, and Encarnacion got it started with his solo home run in the 4th. Don't think Reyes is having fun?
Man, he is a dynamo when he gets on base.
Ball is driven to the alley in right center, and Brandon Moss is going to get there. That'll end the inning. But the Blue Jays tack on a big insurance run off Luke Gregerson. Bautista with the sac fly. Dustin McGowan into the ball game. Blue Jays baseball partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership. Beautiful afternoon in Toronto. Lots of things going on around Lake Ontario. We want to remind you that the MasterCard Memorial Cup final game will take place this afternoon, and all the coverage begins on Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet 360 at 4 o'clock, top of the clock. So make sure you check it out. We will have this ball game in its entirety right where we are, but you can pick up the MasterCard Memorial Cup at 4 o'clock on Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet 360. New pitcher into the game is Dustin McGowan.
Dustin pitched yesterday, faced just one batter, gave up a hit, and the Blue Jays used 3 pitchers to get through 3 outs in the 9th inning. This is exactly what John Gibbons was looking for from the McGowan. Big right-hander come in. Throw that ball as hard as you can for a couple of innings. Some power at the back end of that bullpen.
Josh Donaldson falls behind 0-1. Can't do much with that pitch. We talked about that yesterday when McGowan was into the game to face Yoenis Cespedes. It was late in the ball game. Blue Jays had the lead. Cespedes already with a home run and a triple. McGowan came in to face him and made a perfect pitch down and away with 2 strikes. Cespedes got a base hit, but that's all they could do with that pitch. Just flared it into right. Stay in the same spot.
Yeah, stay down there. Good hitter, hit a good pitch.
Great crowd on hand this afternoon. 45,277. That's the 4th sellout of the season. Overthrew those last 2 pitches and missed his spots both upstairs. Now it's a 2-2 count.
Yeah, the first one was on purpose. It looked like they wanted to change the eye plan or the eye plane of the batter, Donaldson. Now get back down.
Throw him a slider. 3-2. Shortstop Jed Lowry is on deck. He's taken the collar so far this afternoon. The A's have just 4 hits. High pop. Lowry will get over to the wall, give it a look, and it's out of play. The A's came into this series as the most prolific offense in the American League, first in runs scored, and the Blue Jays done a good job. They held them to 2 runs in each of the first 2 games, and they have shut them out so far this afternoon. High fly ball driven deep to right. Bautista will look up. This ball is gone. Josh Donaldson hits a high fastball and drives it into the seats in center field. His 11th home run of the season. It's now a 3-1 game.
He's got some power. Josh Donaldson, that ball away from him. He doesn't have to reach for it. It's just throw the head of the bat out there. Right into the wheelhouse. If it's down or down and away, he's got to reach for it and take away his power.
Well, Jed Lowry will bat. A's are on the board. It's now 3-1. Slider backed up, but it caught the outside corner. Lowry's just 1 for 7 in this series. He missed the middle game on Saturday afternoon. Over the screen, out of play. Blue Jays have a 3-1 lead. They've scored single runs in the 4th, 5th, and 7th. Oakland has scored here in the 8th.
they have threatened all day long. They'll figure out a way to finish off these hitters right here.
Changeup had him out in front. First out of the 8th. Jay Happ with his best start of the season. He goes 7 innings, shuts out the A's on just 4 hits. He walked 3, struck out 7, and threw a season high 110 pitches.
You know, and I love that they sent him back out there in the 7th inning, and he rewarded the Jays with a 1-2-3 inning, his first of the afternoon. Got better as the game went along. 7 punch-outs in 7 innings. His fastball was better. His command got better as the game went along. Now the bullpen's got to hold it for him.
Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes is 0 for 3 this afternoon after a 3-hit game yesterday. Two and 0. Blue Jays are looking for some consistency in the 8th inning. 8th inning has been a little bit of a problem for them this year. Cespedes didn't want to, but he did.
I think he made up his mind before he let go of the ball that he was going to be swinging at that one.
He thought McGowan would throw him a better pitch. Cespedes had to really turn and open up his hips to get to that fastball.
Yeah, it was coming right in on him. Bearing in on him. He's hit 4 home runs this month. Cespedes.
Another full count. Derek Norris is on deck, the right-handed hitter. Aaron Loup continues to throw in the Blue Jays bullpen. Loup is ready should they use a pinch hitter for Norris. The A's have Josh Reddick on the bench, a potent left-handed bat. John Jaso and Nick Punto are questionable. They're day-to-day kind of banged up, general soreness. Broken bat, liner right to Reyes. Fans, don't forget, at the top of the clock, the MasterCard Memorial Cup will be on Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet 360. That'll be in about 3 minutes, so you'll see all of that coverage begin on Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet 360. The A's have scored a run in this inning, a home run off the bat of Josh Donaldson. Now there are 2 outs. Derek Norris goes after that high fastball.
He's coming right after him. Fastball slider combination. I like the changeup he threw to Lowry to get the first out. I think Dustin is more suited for this role right here at the end of the bullpen as opposed to starting.
Missed with that fastball. It's 1-1. I agree with you. I think he can focus on 2 pitches. Fastball, slider, and then once he commands those two pitches, he can bring in the changeup as he did with Jed Lowry.
John Gibbons thinks it can prolong his career. You don't have the wear and tear of going 6 or 7 innings every time as a starter.
I think it's going to take him a while to get into the groove of relieving, where you come in and it looks to me like he's getting to a favorable count and then he's reaching back for a little extra. I don't think he needs to do that.
Just make good pitches. Concentrate on putting the ball where you need it.
That's a good spot. Kratz, the catcher, makes a grab. The inning is over. The A's get on the board. The home run by Josh Donaldson. The Blue Jays have a 3-run lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
You know, we talked about this in the opening that the Blue Jays' speed is starting to be a factor for him. Reyes steals second base, and then he steals third base. Just ahead of a sacrifice fly by Jose Bautista. Reyes got him that big run, and it's an insurance run. It's a big one right now.
Reyes with 3 stolen bases this afternoon. It's the 8th time he's done that. That's a career high, 3 stolen bases in a game. He feels great again. He now has 10 steals on the season. Fernando Abad is into the ball game. He's making his 23rd appearance. He is the 3rd reliever to work for Bob Melvin this afternoon.
He's got a good arm. Look at the numbers. Strikeouts to walk ratio, the whip under 1, the batting average against the lefties and the righties. 0-1. He's got a fastball, curveball, and a nice running changeup that he'll use.
Brett Lawrie 1 for 3 this afternoon. Ball on the strike. He waits back and hits it to left. Cespedes has a beat on it, just short of the warning track. 1 down.
That was that nice changeup right there from Abad. Another player that the A's recognized from a different organization and traded for. They acquired him from the Nationals last November, and it's worked out nicely. Great numbers. His fastball tops out about 94.
It's a minor league deal, and they identified his talents coming over from Washington. He appeared in 39 games for the Nationals last season. Gave up more hits than innings pitched. The ace this afternoon has been Deanna Navarro. He's 1 for 3. Blue Jays trying to sweep their second consecutive series. Just foul outside the left field foul line. Casey Jansen loosening up. Jansen is perfect 6 for 6 in save opportunities since returning from the disabled list. Another foul down the left side. There's a base hit. Kept that one fair. Navarro, his second hit of the afternoon. He's 2 for 4.
With 2 strikes, he likes to go to that curveball. He'll use it 16% of the time, and Navarro made a note of that. Look how high that curveball is, and he stayed right up there with the bat.
Steve Tollison's had a nice day. He struck out in his first at bat when he walked and had a bunt single. 1 for 2. He loops this one into right. That's going to drop. Navarro had to hold up to make sure it was safely down. Tollison with his second hit.
Knew he's going to get some playing time with all the lefties that the Blue Jays have seen this week. 4 of them. Do something to help the club. He's had a good day.
Derek Norris going out with the defense should the Blue Jays break. They're not running here. Navarro's at second. Tollison's at first. Eric Kratz got a chance to knock one out of the ballpark. Jay Happ goes 7 innings of shutout ball. He allowed just 4 hits. And as the starter now, that helps the team ERA. The starter's ERA for the Blue Jays is 3.66 after the 7 innings. Last year at this time, it was 5.50. Kratz waits back on that breaking ball and pops it into left field. Cespedes calls off the shortstop, and Kratz is retired. Blue Jays starters have done a terrific job, and they're going to be tested next time out. Starts this week.
Well, they get the Tampa Bay Rays coming to town, and they will have, first of all, Drew Hutchison, then Mark Burley, then Liam Hendricks will face the Tampa Bay Rays. Eric Bernard, Alex Cobb, and then Chris Archer. So you're right. Whenever those 2 teams get together, they're great games.
Anthony Ghost batting for the first time this afternoon. He entered the ball game defensively in the 7th after Kevin Pillar was lifted in favor of a pinch hitter. Breaking ball for strike 2. We mentioned the starters' ERA improving almost 2 full runs from last year to this year. Coming into this game, the Blue Jays starters have more wins than any starters in the American League. Before Happ's start today, the Blue Jays had 23 wins from their starters. The Tigers had 22.
And we've been talking about that for years, about the starters are going to have to carry you and get some decisions and win games for you. Blue Jays started, I believe, with something like 30 games last year where the starter went into that game with an ERA over 6. You're not going to win too many games like that.
R.A. Dickey won yesterday, his 5th win of the season. Anthony Ghost strikes out. will go to the ninth. It'll be Moss, Callaspo, and and will open things up tomorrow night. He's 3-3 on the season. And Mark Burley goes Tuesday night trying to improve upon that 8-1 record. He is off to a great start. Liam Hendricks won his first start of the season in the opener of this series. Three starters will go up against Tampa Bay. Casey Janssen into the game and throws the first pitch strike to Brandon Moss.
Great numbers for Casey. 6 for 6 in save opportunities in his 6 games. His whip outstanding. Just heating up.
The appeal down at third base. It's 0-2.
And he knows. He knows when a hitter is swung. He was the first one to let the umpire know they wanted to check, and he's rewarded with that.
Missed the outside corner. Casey Janssen keeps pressure on the hitters by working quickly and throwing a lot of strikes. Fly ball into center. Anthony Gose waits on it. One down.
Well, you love when Janssen's in the game. First of all, the Blue Jays have a chance to win, but you're right. He gets the ball and he just wants to throw strikes. Rarely leaves the mound during an at-bat.
Alberto Callaspo will bat left-handed for the first time this afternoon. Switch hitter. Takes his strike. Callaspo's 1 for 3.
He's been the main culprit against Janssen in his career, putting up those big numbers.
Broken bat. 2 down. So with 2 outs, Kyle Blanks is the scheduled batter. He will be lifted for the pinch hitter. 45,277, a sold-out house. 1 out to go. John Jaso is the pinch hitter, his first appearance in the series. Jaso's been out of the lineup. He's been beat up playing down in Tampa Bay. They literally talked about him having general soreness. He wasn't able to start in this series. Strike two.
Look at Casey. Gets it, stays on that mound right over the rubber. Put the pressure on that hitter. He comes right after you. You know, and he has a plan, too. He knows what he wants to do. He's got a curveball that he can get lefties out with. He can backdoor that cutter against the lefties. We saw him use a changeup the other night to finish off the A's.
Jaso hanging tough against Jansen. Josh Reddick has come out on deck. If the A's can keep the inning alive, Reddick will hit for Gentry. Jaso's a contact hitter.
Yes, and he's got a very good eye at the plate. Sees a lot of pitches. Got a short swing. He'll hit the ball all over the ballpark, and he'll see a lot of pitches.
Fly ball to right, Bautista. This should do it. Ball game. Casey Jansen, 7 for 7 in save opportunities. The Blue Jays sweep the A's. They move to 7 games over 500. We'll see you tomorrow night, Tampa Bay, here at Rogers Center. Here's Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn, Blue Jays Central.